At 45, have you ever wondered why, despite working hard for 20 years, burning the midnight oil, and sacrificing time with your family to earn extra income, your bank account isn't as full as you expected? Do you feel like you're running on a hamster wheel? The faster you run, the more tired you get, but you stay in the same place? Here's a truth few dare to speak. 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, even those earning six-figure salaries. While Warren Buffett had accumulated his first $20,000 by the age of 22, most of us at 45 are still struggling with credit card bills and worrying about retirement. Most people say poverty is due to low income and that you need to earn more money and find a higher paying job. The truth is quite the opposite. You're not poor because you earn little. It's because of 9 silent habits that are draining your wealth every day, even if you don't realize it. Today, I'll reveal exactly the 9 habits that are keeping you poor, even with a good income. Number 9 will truly wake you up, as 89% of middle-aged people are making this mistake without even knowing it. If you're ready to break the financial cycle and start building real wealth, type "Escape Poverty" in the comments and join me in changing your financial destiny. Let's start with the first habit, the trap that even high earners fall into. The first thing that keeps you poor, even with a high salary, is the living paycheck to paycheck trap. Sounds paradoxical, right? How can someone earning $80,000 a year live paycheck to paycheck like someone earning $30,000? But this is exactly what's happening to millions of middle-aged Americans. The problem isn't income, it's mindset. Most of us are taught to spend what we earn. As salaries increase, so does spending. Small apartments become big houses, old cars become new cars, and home-cooked meals become frequent restaurant dinners. At the end of the month, whether you earn $50,000 or $100,000, the result is the same, an empty account. I know a couple in Colorado, both teachers with combined income of $120,000 a year. They live in a beautiful house, have 2 new cars, and their children attend private school. But when COVID hit and schools closed for 3 months, they had to borrow money to pay their mortgage. Why? Because they never learned to pay themselves first. The golden rule of the wealthy is simple. Pay yourself before you pay anyone else. As soon as you get paid, transfer 10 to 20% to a savings account. Use the remaining amount for expenses. This forces you to live below your means and creates a gap between earnings and spending. Income doesn't create wealth. The savings rate does. Someone earning $50,000 and saving 20% will be wealthier than someone earning $100,000 and saving 5%. But even if you start saving, number 2 can still destroy all your efforts. You think you're buying assets, but you're actually buying dangerous debts. This is the biggest mistake I see in middle-aged people with good incomes. They buy a big house thinking it's a real estate investment, an expensive car thinking it's a valuable asset, and a Rolex watch thinking it will hold its value over time. The harsh truth: the house you live in is not an asset. It's the biggest expense of your life. Every month, it takes money out of your pocket through mortgage payments, insurance, property taxes, and maintenance. A $400,000 house can cost you $3,000 a month. That's $36,000 a year out of your pocket. Robert Kiyosaki, in his book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, explained this very clearly. An asset puts money in your pocket. Debt takes money out of your pocket. Your $50,000 car depreciates by $10,000 in the first year. That's not an asset. It's an expensive liability. I know a 52-year-old engineer in Austin who bought a $600,000 house because he thought real estate always goes up. He pays $4,200 a month for the mortgage, taxes, and maintenance. Meanwhile, he could have bought a $300,000 house and invested the remaining $300,000 in stocks with an 8% annual return. That's $24,000 in passive income. Buy a house smaller than your financial capacity and invest the difference in real assets. Stocks, bonds, rental properties. That's how the rich think. And even if you understand this, number 3 can still hinder your journey to wealth. This phrase has robbed millions of dollars from your pocket. I'll start next month. This is the chronic disease of the middle-aged. I'll start tomorrow syndrome, waiting for the perfect time to start investing. waiting for a raise, waiting for the kids to grow up, waiting to pay off debt, waiting to understand the stock market. But do you know, every year you delay investing, you're losing tens of thousands of future dollars. This is the terrifying power of compound interest. Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world. Listen to this story. Sarah started investing $100 a month at age 25, stopping at age 35 after investing a total of $12,000. Mike started investing the same amount from age 35 and continued until 65, investing a total of $36,000. Guess who has more money at 65? Sarah with $500,000, while Mike only has $400,000. Note, these figures are for illustrative purposes and depend on the rate of return. Starting 10 years earlier is more important than starting 30 years later. That's why tomorrow is the biggest enemy of wealth. I know a waitress named Rosa in New Mexico. She started investing $50 a month in the S&P 500 index fund from the age of 22. 35 years later, she retired with $800,000, again illustrative, more than most of her friends with college degrees and high salaries. Our brains are designed to prioritize immediate rewards over long-term benefits. That's why it's easy to spend $5 on coffee today, but difficult to invest $100 for the future 30 years from now. The solution? Start with $25 a month today. No need to understand everything about stocks. No need to wait for a raise. Just open an automatic investment account and let time work for you. But even if you start investing, habit number 4 can bankrupt you in the blink of an eye. Stress shopping is eroding 40% of your income, and you don't even realize it. Today, work stress is too much, so you reward yourself with an $80 shirt. Next week, after an argument with your spouse, you buy a $200 watch to make yourself feel better. This month, the electricity bill is high, you're stressed, and you order 5 items on Amazon to relieve the tension. This is called retail therapy, using shopping as emotional pain relief. The average American spends $1,986 a year on impulse purchases, things bought on a whim that aren't really necessary. Why is this so dangerous? Because our brain releases dopamine when we shop, just like when we gamble. The feeling of euphoria when swiping the card, opening the package, but then comes a feeling of regret and more financial stress. I once counseled Linda, 52, a manager at an insurance company. She had $30,000 in credit card debt and didn't understand why. When we reviewed her bank statements, I discovered she spent an average of $800 a month on stress relief items: clothes, jewelry, home decor, books, cosmetics. Every time I'm stressed, I want to buy something to feel better, Linda confessed. But at the end of the month, seeing the credit card bill makes me even more stressed. The solution isn't to ban shopping altogether, but to create a 24-hour filter. When you want to buy something over $50, wait 24 hours. Often, the emotions will subside and you'll realize you don't really need it. Find free ways to relieve stress: walking, calling friends, listening to music, and practicing yoga. And most importantly, write down your feelings before shopping to recognize your patterns. Do you recognize yourself in these situations? Type, "I understand," if you want to know the 5 remaining habits that are silently draining your wallet. Number 5, the neighbor buys a Tesla. You have to have a BMW, and so you slowly go bankrupt. This is a trap that most middle-aged people fall into: competitive consumption with friends, colleagues, and neighbors. Jim at the company buys a new BMW, and you feel your old Honda is inferior. Susan next door renovates her kitchen to look like something out of a magazine, and you want your house to keep up. Social media doubles this problem. Instagram is full of pictures of luxurious vacations. Facebook is filled with new cars and beautiful houses. We constantly compare our lives to the highlight reel of others and feel like we have to catch up. I know a couple in Minnesota, both working in healthcare with a combined income of $140,000. They spend 65% of their income just to look successful. A big house in an affluent neighborhood, 2 new cars, designer clothes, and sending their children to expensive private schools. The result? At 48, they only have $8,000 in savings and are worried about retirement. Here's a truth you know: Most real millionaires drive cars older than 3 years, live in ordinary houses, and buy clothes at Target or Walmart. According to Thomas Stanley's research in The Millionaire Next Door, 80% of self-made millionaires live below their means. Warren Buffett still lives in a house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. Bill Gates drives a Porsche 959, but only because he genuinely enjoys driving, not to show off to anyone. Truly wealthy people don't need to prove anything to anyone. The next time you want to buy something to keep up with others, ask yourself, am I buying this because I really need it or because I want to impress someone? If it's the latter, use that money to invest instead of impressing others. But even if you stop competing on consumption, number 6 can make you lose everything overnight. An unexpected medical bill can destroy 20 years of savings. Here's a scary reality. 40% of Americans don't have $400 in cash to deal with an emergency. This means when the car breaks down and needs an $800 repair, when the air conditioner breaks and needs a $1,200 replacement, or when there's an unexpected $2,500 medical bill, they have to borrow or use credit cards. And this is where the vicious cycle of poverty begins. No emergency fund, using credit cards for emergencies, high interest of 18 to 24%, having to pay interest monthly, less money to save when the next emergency occurs, having to borrow more. This repeats itself. I once counseled Mark, a 46-year-old electrician in Ohio. He had a stable salary of $65,000 per year, but no emergency fund. When his wife broke her leg and had to take 3 months off work, they had to borrow $8,000 on credit cards to pay the mortgage and bills. 5 years later, with accumulated interest, that debt had become $15,000. I never thought I'd need an emergency fund, Mark said. I thought my monthly salary was enough to live on, but when the accident happened, I understood why I had to prepare in advance. An emergency fund isn't an investment asset. It's financial insurance. You need 3 to 6 months of living expenses in an easily accessible savings account. If your monthly expenses are $4,000, you need at least $12,000 in emergency funds. Start small. Save $50 a week until you have $1,000. Then continue until you have enough for 3 to 6 months of expenses. This is the most important investment of your life. But even if you have an emergency fund, habit number 7 can still pull you into a deep hole of debt. Credit cards, a tool for the rich, a trap for the poor. Credit cards are like knives. In the hands of a skilled chef, they create amazing dishes. In the hands of someone who doesn't know how to use them, they can cause serious injury. The rich use credit cards to accumulate points and pay off the balance every month. The poor use them like cash and get trapped in the interest cycle. Here's a number that keeps me up at night. If you have $5,000 in credit card debt at a 20% interest rate and only make the minimum payment of $100 a month, it will take you 94 months, almost 8 years, to pay it off, and the total amount paid will be $9,400, meaning you pay an extra $4,400 in interest. I know Jennifer, a 44-year-old nurse in Florida, who has $18,000 in credit card debt from small purchases. I only buy groceries, gas, and a few necessities, she said. But when we reviewed her statements, I saw hundreds of $20 to $50 transactions for coffee shops, fast food, and online shopping. Psychology explains why. When using cards, our brains don't feel the pain of paying like when handing over cash. Swiping a card is easier than counting bills, so we spend 12 to 18% more compared to using cash. The solution? If you have credit card debt, apply the debt avalanche method. Pay the minimum on all cards, but put all extra money towards a card with the highest interest rate first. After paying off that card, move on to the card with the second highest interest rate. And most importantly, switch to a cash-only system for all non-essential spending. Withdraw cash at the beginning of the month for groceries, entertainment, and shopping. No more money means no more spending. This brings us to habit number 8, the habit that 90% of middle-aged people commit. The skills of 20 years ago are now obsolete. Did you know? The world is changing at breakneck speed. The skills that help you succeed at May 25th be obsolete at 45. AI is replacing many jobs, new technologies are emerging daily, and the way we work is undergoing a complete digital transformation. But most middle-aged people think they're done learning. They have a degree, experience, and a stable position. Why learn more? This is a mindset that leaves them behind, and their income is stagnant. At a company I used to work for, there were two people, both 50 years old, in the same managerial position. David constantly took online courses on digital marketing, data analysis, and new leadership skills. Robert thought, 25 years of experience is enough. 3 years later, David was promoted to director with a 40% salary increase, while Robert remained in the same position with the same salary. According to LinkedIn Learning, 57% of executives say soft skills are more lacking than hard skills. Communication, adaptability, creativity, and emotional intelligence are becoming the most important skills of the 21st century. Investing in yourself is the investment with the highest ROI. $1,000 for a course can help you increase your salary by $10,000. 30 minutes of reading each day can open up new career opportunities. Spend 1% of your income and 1 hour each day learning new skills. Read books, take online courses, attend workshops, and go to networking events. In this era, those who stop learning will be left behind. And now for the last point, what has robbed millions of people of their last chance? This is number 9, the disease that 89% of middle-aged people suffer from: perfectionism paralysis. I'll start investing when I fully understand the stock market. I'll start a business when I have the perfect business plan. I'll change careers when I find the ideal job that's 100% perfect. I'll learn new skills when I have completely free time. Do these phrases sound familiar? This is perfectionism paralysis, the disease of waiting for perfect conditions to start. But the truth is, there's never a perfect time to do anything. The stock market will always have risks. Your business plan will change 100 times after you start. The 100% ideal job doesn't exist. Completely free time will never come. I know Robert, a 58-year-old engineer in California who has been researching stock market investing for 15 years. He's read hundreds of books, followed every financial blog, and participated in investment forums. But he has never bought a single stock because he doesn't understand it well enough. Meanwhile, his colleague, Mike, started investing $500 per month in an S&P 500 index fund 15 years ago without knowing anything about technical analysis or financial ratios. Today, Mike has $180,000 in his portfolio, while Robert still has $0 and is researching. Again, illustrative. Done is better than perfect. This phrase has changed the lives of millions of people. Imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. Every year you delay investing $200 per month, you lose about $30,000 at age 65, depending on returns. Every year you delay learning new skills, your income potential decreases. Every year you delay starting a business, your opportunities shrink. At 65, what most people regret most are not the things they did, but the things they didn't do because they were waiting for the perfect moment. Perfectionism is a motivation. It's a beautifully disguised excuse for fear and procrastination. Now you know the 9 silent habits that are robbing you of your chance at wealth, from living paycheck to perfectionism paralysis. This isn't about having a high or low income. It's about the small decisions you make every day. Every time you choose to save instead of spending, invest instead of delaying, learn instead of stopping, you are rewriting your own financial story. Don't feel overwhelmed by all 9 of these. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is wealth. Choose one habit to change next week. Maybe it's saving your first $100, or canceling unnecessary subscriptions, or starting to invest $50 in the S&P 500. Small actions today will create big changes 10 years from now. If this video has opened your eyes to the habits hindering your path to wealth, comment "Escape Poverty" below, so I know you're ready to change. And don't forget to share this video with your loved ones. You might change their lives with just one click. Do you want to make the next video about 9 financial habits of wealthy people age 50 plus? Or are there other topics about building wealth that you want to explore? Let me know in the comments. Remember, 45 isn't too late. It's the perfect time to start over. The most successful people in the world often begin their second careers at this age. The changes you make today will determine how you live for the next 20 years. Don't let old age and poverty become a reality. Your wealthy future starts with your next decision. Take action right now